Okay, we've got a listener dilemma for Friday. It's very pertinent because there is nothing that anybody is talking about as much as how expensive everything is. And what is bubbling up in a lot of our group chats is reflected in this anonymous listener dilemma that we got. It says, I need some advice about bill splitting now. I'm not usually one to be pedantic about who had what when we go out for dinner, especially with my friends in a group. But I went to a birthday dinner recently and the bill was split evenly between 10 of us. The restaurant was chosen by my friend and it was pretty fancy. I had to work the next day, so I only had 2 glasses of wine and I had to leave before dessert was ordered. But later I saw the message in the group chat, because that's how we split bills now, that said everybody transfer X, and it was the same amount for everybody. Some people ordered multiple cocktails, others had entrees and desserts, but were all expected to pay the same amount. My rent has just gone up $100 a week. I don't make as much money as some of my friends, and I really can't afford to cover the costs for the food and drinks I haven't had, but I'm not sure how to say it. Is it rude to split hairs with bill splitting? Should I say something? Claire Stevens, etiquette expert.
Firstly, one of the problems with this is that you let it get to the group chat stage.
Yes.
And the thing about communication that I've learnt is the earlier the better. And I am the worst at this because communication is hard. So I think what you're meant to do is when you're at the restaurant, you're meant to say, hey, I'm just going to get a salad, or I'm just getting a meal, or I'm not drinking, or whatever it is, and just say that really explicitly at the outset. At the same time.
Do you mean when everyone's ordering?
Yes.
Yeah, when you first get there, you make it clear, and some of the advice says even say, so I'll get a separate bill, for example, something like that.
Or
because restaurants love that.
Yeah, really love
and
that.
you look at that person's soul die when you say it, and you go, come on, I'm going to need my own bill. But the other thing is that sometimes you go out, and I've had this happen, and it escalates. So you couldn't predict when you were first ordering that so-and-so was going to get 15 cocktails. That came out of the blue. So it's when the bill comes, being really definitive about saying, I think if you're the person who's like, I want to split this, take control. Nobody wants to take control of the bill. That's the problem.
That's true.
Taking control. I'm a lazy person and I will actually pay anything so long as you tell me what I have to pay. So if you do the maths for me, and say, this is how it works.
The problem is now because most people have got their cards on their phones, no one's got cash anymore. It's not like, oh, well, you put in 20, you put in 15, right? So the person will come, and some restaurants are like, don't break my balls. We'll split it 2 ways or 3 ways, but I'm not doing 14 different ways, right? And dividing entrees and 3 cocktails. So what do you do?
So in that case, this happened the other night. We were at dinner with there are a lot of us, maybe like 11. And I think you've got to be bossy in these situations. And I think we all underestimate how much we love a bossy person.
So were you that person?
So I was not. Am I ever that person? No. But one girl was like, I'm paying on my card. Now let's look at the bill. Everybody calculate what you had. You're going to transfer me right now. I'm going to stand here. Yep, Claire, you've transferred me.
Oh, so you don't make it the restaurant's problem.
No, you make it. But she just said, this is what's happening. And you don't let it get to the group chat stage because you need confirmation in the moment that the money has hit your account.
See, this makes me...
No one's allowed to leave until I can see evidence.
Yeah. It makes me hivey that these days, because people say it's easier if one person pays, is that because everything is so expensive now, that one person is taking an immediate hit of hundreds of dollars.
Plus the tip.
Yeah. And that makes me so angsty as somebody who at various stages in my life might not have had those hundreds of dollars in my bank account. And you're like, oh, and maybe they'll pay me back tonight. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll pay me back next week. It's made life more tense.
The only benefit is points. If you have like an American Express or a Qantas card, you get like a little boost of points. So some of my smart money friends,
organised.
they say, I'll do it. I'll get the points. And then
who that would be.
But yes,
Luca Levine.
Luca Levine.
But Holly, I'm exactly the same. My partner loves I remember when we were traveling last year, he loves if there's a group of people, he goes, I'll put everything on my credit card, split it all at the end. I feel like vomiting. I am anxious constantly because I'm like, what if your maths goes wrong? What if it's a huge number and you get to the end and someone goes, I can't pay that? Like, it's just so overwhelming.
What if they die?
I know.
I want to throw one extra layer of complexity on this that was a dilemma that happened to a friend of mine recently, is out for dinner, birthday dinner, expensive place. She had a babysitter at home who she was already paying for as well, which would be $100 at least. And so that meant she could only be there for a short space of time. She wasn't really drinking much because she had to drive the babysitter home. She had to leave early, all those things. When the text comes in the group chat, she's like, fuck no. She's like, I paid $100 to the babysitter and and it's caused issues. It's caused issues. Mia, what do we do?
I don't know. I know that I don't usually go out in big groups. And I know that there's also, because my husband will often go, he doesn't like the awkwardness, so he'll just pay.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, well, that's expensive.
No. Yeah. No.
That's a lot every time.
Not a good waste.
Yeah.
Not a good use of our funds.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that with friends, often I used to just, it used to just be like, oh, I'll pay this time, you pay next time. But now it's pretty much split. And if there's multiple people, see, I don't tend to go out with people who drink a lot. Like I go out for an early dinner with someone who, and we'll have during the week, and we'll have 1 to 2 drinks each. We'll have a main course and a dessert and some
So
bread.
you've basically designed your friendship group to largely to avoid this issue, which not deliberately, but it's a happy byproduct of the fact that it's pretty low key.
But if I've got I'm sure I've got friends who drink a lot, but not when they're with me.
Yeah.
But I think, Holly, what your babysitter story points to as well is that there's more at play here in the social. It's about more than just splitting the bill. I have had recently somebody goes, let's grab dinner, and I say, great, I'm terrible at food as a topic, so you choose. There's the mistake. You go and you look at the menu and you go, oh no, this is not where I would have ever chosen to go because mains are like $50.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would never have chosen that. That's an awkward situation.
But then you've got it. That's on you.
That's on me, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, I don't advocate
Lazy girl
for myself.
needs to get involved in choosing the restaurant.
Yeah. So back to our listener and her dilemma. Should she say something? Yes, I think she
Absolutely.
should say something. I think you are as polite as you can be and as lovely about it as you can be, but you just say, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting the bill to be that much. I really didn't have that. I didn't have that much, drink that much, whatever. And then I think going forward, Claire's advice is the correct advice, which is you set it up from the beginning. So if you're not drinking, for example, and everybody's drinking, you say from the beginning, because a good host will clock this and they'll go, Claire's not drinking, so she's not paying for any of the alcohol. But everybody by that point is merry and far down the line and they've forgotten. So you've got to say up front what you're willing to put out for.
Slight problem in that is that the person, if you're the person who's not drinking and everyone else is drinking and it gets to the end of the night, it means probably the person who's been drinking the most will be splitting the bill. So they've got to see what Claire's eating, take off Claire's food and then divide it by a different number.
Claire has to advocate for herself in
That's
this
a lot of
situation.
maths.
And do
So
some-
at the beginning she has to say it, but then also when the bill comes she has to jump in and not just leave it to drunk lady.
My kids are always saying to me, why do we need to learn maths? This is why.
Yeah, it's true.
You should see Jessie
For
trying to
splitting
split a bill.
bills.
It's the
I
most
can't split a
embarrassing
bill.
because Jessie's got all the confidence and none of the skill when it comes to maths. So she'll say, don't worry guys, I've got it. Everyone's paying $23 and you're like, that covers none of it. Shut up. So just if you go to dinner with Jessie, don't listen.
Outlouders, tell us, how do you handle group dinners? How do you handle bill splits? Hit us up.